Sultan. Marion in the house. All right, let's bring him in. There's no volume? Ma, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear now.
Okay. Instagram's been doing some really funky things recently. I was on this morning with Dave Meltzer. You know Dave Meltzer?
Yeah.
So Dave Meltzer went live. He goes live every day throughout Corona, and he went live, and after his first live, it just cut out, and he then tried to go live like 8 times, and it was never working on the sound. And I kept joining each time just to support him, because it sucks when you're trying to go live and you have tech issues and your sound's not working and like you don't know how to fix it. There's like, you start getting anxiety and panic. And anyway, he kept doing it. So every time he's going live, he's like, yes, come on, this is gonna be the time. And finally, like the 8th or 9th time, it worked. It's like, oh my God, it worked. So then I invited him, like, sorry, I asked to join, like, hey, invite me in, invite me in, invite me in. And so I was the first person he invited in. He's trying to do a Q&A. He's like, I don't have a question for you, Dave, but I'm so pumped that you kept going, that you didn't quit, that you didn't give up, that you kept making, the attempts, and here we are, you made it happen. So anyway, Instagram's been pretty buggy. But welcome, everybody. We are doing a Q&A. I am playing League of Legends. I'm trying to get the gold. We won our first game. Very exciting. We got 2 more. We're going to do a Q&A while we do it. Marion in the house, client acquisition consultant, changed his official Instagram bio. I like it. You guys ask your questions below. He's going to pick it. He's going to answer it. I'm going to answer it. Move on to the next one. Hopefully help you. Help me get a win as well. Let's go. Marion, what's our first question?
So going back to, because we were answering the one with the first investment, and I think was one next to it. So let's see if of course I can't see it anymore, but I think it was the multitasking. Oh no, never mind. I see it. What is your opinion on multitasking?
First off, I see Mark Jager in the house who's saying, what's the score? Mark wants to know what the score is. So
what's the score?
Well, he wants to know people's rankings. So Mark is 3-1, Alex is 1-5, Jeremy's 7-2, and Marion is now 3-4. So we're getting it. It's happening. Mark is my co-host on Mondays with Mark. But Mark doesn't get as many games in. So Mark has a little bit of an advantage because I play a game by myself before he comes in. So I get a practice game where everybody else, because he can't make 6:30. So it's a little bit of advantage. But anyway, multitasking.
It's all good. Multitasking. So I used to believe that you are a boss when you multitask. I strongly believe that it's not a great idea unless you outsource the tasks to other people and other people are doing the tasks that you're supposed to do. So for example, so think about it, right? Like for example, if you want to talk to your wife and text your buddies about something, that's crap multitasking, right? I always believe that you have to give 100% into whatever you're doing. So if you are working on something, go 100% on it and put the rest of notifications off and put your phone down and all the rest, and then work on that. When you're done with that, then move on to the next thing, right? Like it goes back to the same, funny now, we're getting all these questions about multitasking and how to structure your day and things. So going back to what we were talking in the previous live video, if you look at what's the most important task of the day, and if you're able to get that one done, you don't need to try to multitask for the rest. So in my opinion, I used to believe that it's cool if you can multitask. I'm totally against it now. It's not a great thing, because it's usually, you're not, like, think about it as a pizza, right? How many slices, like if it's just one pizza and you don't cut it, it's one piece. The moment you start cutting it, you got to put more, like, different things. Like the moment you split it in half, now you're not getting the whole thing. It's half and half. If you split it in 4, you're going to get, 4, right? So the moment you're multitasking is like you're trying to get all these different things, different slices. So I'm not a big believer into it.
It's not a fan. So I'll take this in. I got 2 thoughts on this. One, it depends on what your goals are. If your goals are just purely productivity, then no. It just is not going to work. You're gonna forget things. You're not gonna be productive. You're not gonna get the results that you want. That being said, you can have other reasons, like maybe it's fun for you, right? Even look at, like right now, I'm multitasking. I'm talking to you and I'm playing a game, and I'm talking to you and I'm playing a game. And at some points when I'm like in the middle of something crazy, it's really hard to focus on what's happening. So if I only, I said my stated goal is I want to get to gold, right, in League of Legends. If that was only my goal, if that's the thing that mattered the most, then I wouldn't be doing a live stream at the same time. My records are going to be worse for sure because I'm doing a live stream at the same time as playing my game. But this is more fun, right? Like the goal is not the only thing. So yes, I want to climb, and yes, I like seeing, like, we like having fun of who's got the better record and who's got how many wins or whatever. But this is fun. It's fun. It's fun hanging out. Like, I don't hang out with Marion that often. So before this, now every week we're hanging out and catching up and answering questions and giving back and providing value. So it's fun. So it depends on what your objective is. The other thing I would say is it's really easy to multitask on one physical and one mental thing. It's hard to multitask on two physical or two mental things at the same time. So what I mean by that, if you were trying to, do some exercises and do some thinking, you could do that, right? You could do that fairly easily, right? So I could.
Like you can listen to a podcast.
Yeah, you listen to a podcast while you're working out. It could actually help you. Like you can last longer on that treadmill if you have a nice distraction, something that's physical, right? So that's great. But if you're trying to do two mental tasks at the same time, that's where, texting your wife or talking to your wife and texting your friend at the same time might cause some problems. So that makes it more difficult. Same thing when you're doing two physical activities. Try doing swimming and push-ups at the same time, right? I mean, maybe, but probably not. So it's much easier if you're multitasking to combine one physical with one mental than it is to combine. When most people think about multitasking, they're thinking about two mental. Thinking about, I'm trying to do emails and also do something else, or I'm trying to do some creative project and check up on people and text. Like, you're probably just going to completely fall apart.
No, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, and then because I never thought about multitasking as going to the gym and listening to an audiobook or a podcast. That's actually one of the best things that you can do.
It's a hack. Like, multitasking can be a hack, but most people just think about it in general as two mental tasks at the same time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What do you think of all this craziness going on? Yeah, I guess the question is super broad, but what do we think about it? It's definitely way more real than I thought, or we all expected to. I guess you can ask anybody on planet Earth. Nobody thought it's going to get to the level that it is right now. It's pretty sad that it's happening. We'll definitely go, and this will pass. It's just a matter of time. In terms of what personally do I think about it, I think so it's definitely sad, like the whole, what happens like in hospitals and stuff. I was talking last night with a nurse here locally that she was looking for some housing. She was changing, I think, work and things like that. So I super respect, like, they work like crazy shifts, especially the last couple of weeks. So that's super sad in terms of, like, how bad things are going in a lot of hospitals, a lot of like places all around the world. And then on top of that, you put in the whole economical effect that's going to come in the next couple of months and probably years to come. It's even worse. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of, not focusing too much on the negative, even though it's a lot of negative in there. Focus on ways to kind of rise and focus on ways to help as much as you can other people. And now, I guess, in my opinion, it's also time to kind of restructure your business model. Look at the things that you can improve. Look at ways that you know, they were talking, I think 2 days ago, they were talking about this being a wave, right? Like this being a wave happening now, and then another wave coming in the winter, and then another wave coming next year. So think about it. If you have a 3-month window, what are you able to do? So when the next wave comes, so let's assume now in 2 weeks, things come to normal, which we all know it's not going to happen, but let's assume. And 3 months, yeah, and let's say you have only a window of 3 months until the next wave comes. Now you get almost an alarm of, hey, you got 3 months to prepare. What are you going to do about it? So when the next wave comes, you're more prepared. And then, you know, it hits the fan again in the next couple of months, and then you get another 2 months. Like, what are you able to do to actually get prepared for the next one? And I think that's how I look at things.
I default to always just seeing the opportunity, right? I did a podcast. I don't know if Mark Drager's still in the house. We did a podcast earlier today, and he was talking about how he's excited that now at home he loves hanging out with his kids. He loves not commuting to the office because he lives like 14 hours away from his office. It's not that far, but it's pretty far. But he doesn't like to commute. And so, great. Whatever's happening now that you miss or you're learning, now bring that into your business. So we talked about, hey, if you don't like going to the office, maybe you design a life where you don't go into the office, right? Like, yes, you've got, I don't know, 10 people on his team or whatever, but he's going in 4 days a week. Maybe he should be going in 1 day a week. He loves that his kids are at home and he gets to, you know, hug them every morning and tuck them into bed and cuddle with them, and great. Are the kids even going to go back to school before September? And maybe you plan a life so that they take that next semester off too, right? Like the things that you're enjoying doing, how can you build a life around it? And so I just default to always seeing the opportunities, right? Like, we had this last week. All we talked about was bulletproof in your business. That's your chance. This is your chance to bulletproof your business, right? Talk to Marion, get your course up, build your funnels. It's fantastic. I think most people are just living in fear and doubt and insecurity and are struggling, and that's preventing them from doing the most important thing, which is to take action. So yes, you should be informed. You know, yes, you should pay somewhat attention to the news and what's going on, just so that it serves you, but not so much that you are watching it every hour to see what's like. It's not changing that, and we might be doubling a lot, but it's not changing that quickly, and it's not giving you enough real-time data to say this is going to really make an impact. So check in once a day, see what's happening. Awesome. And then what are you actually going to start doing? And I think that's where people need to live, because this is a serious case, obviously, but a lot's gonna, like, this is entrepreneurship, guys. There's always something that's gonna come and eat your business. Always. Like, if it's not Corona, there's gonna be something else. There's gonna be some new, Walmart's gonna come in and take over your company, right? Somebody on your team is gonna steal your stuff. I don't know. Like, there's always something. It's nonstop. There's always gonna be problems, right? And that's not to say doom and gloom. This is the resilience of entrepreneurship. This is where you need to, you roll with it, you run with it, say, okay, another negative thing happened, awesome. What am I going to do to make this great for me and my business, right? So that's what I would do.
Cool. Stan asks, which niches, however you want to call it, besides essential business will survive the coronavirus, the corona crisis? So, yeah, besides the essential business, which, you know, it can be brick and mortar, and the list is actually pretty big. Like, I know at TV, the headlines will say like, hey, most businesses are closed. Actually, the list of essential businesses are pretty big. So what are the niches? So obviously, you know, people that sell information products, people that sell anything that has to do with the online platforms, right? Like, for example, Evan, right? Like, he sells the YouTube, build your YouTube influence. Regardless what's going on, like, yes, it may be an impact in people focusing on that, but essentially it's not the same type of impact that it would have on a restaurant, right? Like, think pretty much any kind of business that is selling their their knowledge, or any type of brand or personal brand or business that sells some information products, it's not impacted as much as a brick and mortar type of business that is like crushed right now, right? Think about it. Number one, from an expense standpoint, you know, like once you build an info product, the only expense that you have, and it's not even an expense, it's almost like an investment, because you put money into marketing so to generate sales. The only other expense is just the virtual assistant kind of managing, you know, the community, or the community manager kind of managing what's going on. Other than that, there's not really a super, you know, big expense to that. So information products are, you know, one of the kind of most lucrative businesses that will not just survive. In my opinion, I think they'll thrive out of this whole thing, because at the end, people will realize like, oh, damn, if this was a 200 billion industry up until this point, it's going to double after that, because people will realize like, okay, especially people that have some sort of knowledge already, they're going to say, oh, I don't want the next wave coming to catch me off guard. I'm going to put my knowledge online. So in my opinion, that's the number one niche that will thrive out of this.
You got to bulletproof your business with Marian Asanu. Someone said I got shepherd's pie fingerprints on my camera. Is my camera messed up? Nina, maybe it's just a joke. Nina made some keto shepherd's pie earlier today. She's making a YouTube video. It was pretty delicious. I can't think of a single industry that will die. An industry that will die. Everything's coming back. I mean, TDS, right? I mean, my business should die. Like it's dying right now, but every business is going to come back. Restaurants will come back. People will still want to have a place to go and eat. We won't be in isolation forever. Every business will come back. Every industry. I think the businesses that will have the hardest time are, yes, the ones that are shut down and you can't do remote work and you haven't bulletproofed it. And then I think over-leveraged companies, just people who are already operating at the max and some took out some giant loan or are massively in debt and had zero wiggle room and now are really struggling. So individual companies, a lot of individual companies will be hurt by this for sure. Industries, I don't think that many. I mean, I can't think of one. I don't know what industry would be hurt by it long term.
Tyrone asks, how much time do you spend on all your platforms? So I think for me, like if it's daily, it's Instagram that I spend kind of the most, especially because I use it for like stories, you know, like every now and then post, you know, 45 seconds, 1 minute, you know, every 15-second block. But Instagram is, in my opinion, I think it's a platform that I spend the most. But if I would break it down into time, YouTube is the one that I batch produce. So I usually have Sunday for like recording videos. And I would say, I don't know, probably like a 4 or 5 hour block to record videos. So Instagram, I guess, if I would put a time block on it, probably about an hour a day. And then Facebook would be next, because I would go live into my Facebook group. Also messaging. Usually the easiest way for me to kind of stay in touch, like even with Evan, the communication happens on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So I guess Instagram, it's about an hour a day. Facebook, it's a little more, because I pretty much all the like business communication, it's there. And then YouTube would be kind of, let's say, 5 hour a week type of like batch produce. And these are usually the platforms that I spend the time on.
What I would look at is how much time are you spending creating versus consuming? Makes a big difference. So,
I was just talking from a creator standpoint, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think that can easily get lost. Like, you're spending an hour a day on Instagram. What are you doing? I'm making stuff. I'm building my business, right? Most people who spend an hour a day on Instagram are not creating. They're just consuming. So I would, as a default first step, you're almost always going to get a higher return out of creating than consuming. Doesn't mean you don't consume anything, because I think consuming educational content as opposed to just entertainment or stupid content. People dive in Instagram and just watch fail videos or basketball highlights or whatever, which, you know, it can be entertaining, but you're not learning anything unless you're in basketball and you're not creating anything. So to really start to shift your focus to spend more time creating than consuming, I think is probably the greatest thing that you could do, more than where to allocate your time, like which platform to spend the time on. Me personally, I don't know, man. How much time do I spend on YouTube? Jesus, I don't know. A lot, dude. A lot. I don't like on an average day. I don't know, man. A lot. I don't keep track of it, but it's definitely a lot.
Do you record daily? Do you record every day?
Do I record every day? I do not record like videos for YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I don't record every day. I mean, I guess this could be classified as recording. This is going to go up on my IG Live channel. So this is recording every day. But in terms of actually making content for the channel that are my, you know, my big videos, no, it's once a week. Yeah.
Dominic says, what's up from Croatia? What's going on, man?
Nice. Croatia in the house. I hope the earthquakes are okay, man.
Tyrone says,
it's crazy. Are there earthquakes in Romania too?
No, yeah. By the way, now that you said it, yeah, I think Croatia got hit by
hard. Yeah, they're getting hit. They're getting hit by earthquake. I mean, just when you think this is it, this is the entrepreneur life, right? It's like, great, you just got hit with Corona, and now huge earthquakes too. Great, right? Like, just expect more. And don't wish for less. Wish for the strength to be able to handle more. That's the entrepreneur mindset. So, yeah, I hope you're safe. There's a lot of I have some people on my team who are from Croatia, so I know that they're kind of facing the earthquakes. My team is safe, so I hope you are too.
Tyrone says #believe.
I like it. Somebody said, just followed you, Marion. All right, look at you, getting the love. You are authentic. Look at that.
Oh.
Marion getting some serious love here.
Thanks for the love. Do you think, so the Pika asks, do you think minimalism is an ideal way of living life? So, yeah, to be honest, 100%.
Wow.
I live a, yeah.
Okay.
I live a super
I like it.
minimal. Yeah, I live a super minimal lifestyle, like super nothing, you know, nothing like I think I was talking to a friend of mine that just exited a pretty big business. So he got like a 7-figure deal about 9 months ago. So I was talking to him about this. You still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me? Oh,
yeah, seven-figure friend.
So he just exited a business.
Yeah.
He just exited this business, and we were talking about, you know, lifestyle and things like that. And he said, dude, like the fastest, like you can complicate things when you get to that level just by easily just adding too much stuff to your plate, right? Like if, hey, I want to keep up with that person and I need that kind of car and I need that kind of car, or actually, no, you don't. Like, you know, the moment you understand, like, what are the things that actually make you happy? Like, for a long time, I thought, you know, like when I was young, like my ideal car was a BMW, like an M3, right? When I had it, it wasn't that, I mean, it was cool and stuff, but it wasn't like it wasn't like, oh my God, like now it's like so much better. No, like, to be honest, now, like, especially now this time, right? The moment, like in the morning when I jump in my car or just wake up and then talk to my parents, to be able to just talk to them and then see, right? And those are the things that actually, at least in my opinion, can actually bring you joy. And the fact that, you know, I was talking to my wife, we had the plan to actually bring, you know, my parents, her family over for like we were going on a road trip for like 2 weeks with them, right? That's probably going to be postponed for a couple more months now, but ideally you want to look at the things that actually bring you joy. Like I'm not saying to not, like for example, if you like shoes, or if you like cars, but you don't like them for the reason that, hey, my friend has it, or this neighbor has it, and now I want to compete with it, right? That's a wrong way to look at things. In my opinion, the more kind of minimalistic lifestyle you have is so much easier to kind of understand what are the things that bring you joy, and I strongly believe that.
I like it. You took it away. I wasn't expecting, but I like it. I'm pretty minimalistic. I've gone extreme minimalistic. I was looking at the 100 items challenge fairly seriously for a while. That. Yeah, so it's like you only have 100 things. You're only allowed to have 100 things. So then you're really careful about what it is that you're going to buy, because you can only have 100 things. When I go traveling, it's always just with a carry-on. Always. Mostly because I'm not waiting for the checked luggage. So I'm the first one off the plane, and then I'm heading out. So if I'm going for 3 weeks, awesome. Carry on. We'll figure it out.
You can buy some stuff there, whatever you got.
Well, there's a time that like I went for a month on a cruise with a carry-on, and then I was going hardcore, where it's like you buy the special underwear and special T-shirts that are smell resistant and whatever, and like super quick dry, and yeah. So I went with like 3 T-shirts and 3 pairs of underwear for 30 days, and you just keep washing.
Oh my God!
Like yeah, it was a definite experiment. I went a little off the deep end, but it was fun. Like again, like what makes
Where'd you go?
I did a European cruise, east and west, 30 days.
Nice.
And like worst case, I can buy something, right? I mean, it's the stores. If it's not working out, go buy a T-shirt and some extra underwear, right? Like it's not the end of the world. But it was a fun experiment to try out. So I'm pretty much all in, right? I used to have 1 bowl. So you eat everything. 1 bowl, 1 set of like utensils. So a fork, a knife, and a spoon. And that's it. And you eat everything out of the same bowl. So when you're done, you wash it, and then it's ready to go again for the next time, right? That's how that was legit how I kept that up for a while. It's fun. I like it. It was different. So that's super minimalistic. I don't know about it being prescriptive. So my only issue with the comment was, is it the best lifestyle or something, right? Something like that. Is it the best way to live? I don't know that I would...
It's
right?
the ideal way of living life. Yeah.
The ideal way of living life? I don't know that I would say that. I agree with everything Marion said, that stuff isn't the thing that will make you happy necessarily, but as long as you do it for the right reasons. Like there's some people who just, like when I collected baseball cards, dude, I love my baseball cards. It brought me so much joy to pull out like the Michael Jordan baseball card when he went from basketball to baseball. I must have bought like 20 of those. And I loved it. It wasn't minimalistic, but I wasn't doing it because my friends had 2 and I wanted 20 or something, right? So examining the reasons behind it. If it's just to make you look cooler in front of somebody else, making decisions based off of other people's opinions is never going to be the right fit. But examining the reasons why you're doing something, and if that means collecting stuff, it may not be the worst thing. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily prescribe it to everybody, even though I am pretty minimalistic and have been hyper minimalistic.
No, and at the same time, because I want to point this out, like for example, if you actually love cars and you love, I don't know, like you want to tune your car and you want to put all kind of bumpers and cool, like just because you love that, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's not something that I would be against, or I guess everybody that could say, oh no, that's the wrong way to do it. No, I mean, if you actually love it and you work for it, like there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just, I want to make sure that I point that out. And the same thing with clothes. If you actually like them, it's one thing. If you just buy them and you just max out your credit cards so you look good for your Instagram photos, That's the wrong way to do it, right? And I think that's the fine kind of line between these things that I guess a lot of people would kind of take it wrong. Believer Krishna asks how to promote ourselves on social media. So, of course, it's a pretty broad, right? Like social media would include all these platforms from Instagram to Facebook to LinkedIn to TikTok to YouTube, all of them, right? I guess, in my opinion, the fastest way, I'll go a little tactical here, like both Instagram and Facebook allow you to run video views campaigns for $1 a day. Right now, like right this moment, it's the like think about it, right? Like $1 a day. I have like clients that would say, oh, I don't have time to create daily content. That's cool. If you have a 1-minute video and you post it on Instagram and Facebook, you can run a video view campaign for $1 a day. And even though you may not post it daily, every day, as long as your credit card can be charged, for that $1, you'll get a couple hundred views, which is insane. Like there's no other kind of medium that you can do that for $1 per day. Right now, $1 a day, it's not ideal. I guess it's the minimum that you can start with. And there's no excuse that anybody, like you take a phone, you record a video, you post it. You can use any kind of app, like free apps. InShot is a free app, and then you post it. You can have text to it, whatever, and then you promote it to more people. So that's I guess the question was how to promote ourselves on social media. So that's the fastest way. With photos, you're not able to do that because you're not able to create photo view campaigns, right? You can create some engagements, but those are a little more expensive. It's still doable. It's still like not crazy, but video views, it's the fastest and cheapest way to get started.
Yeah, and I think inside of that, it's telling your story and teaching me something, right? So it's never been easier or cheaper to get in front of the right people. So to Marion's point, but you also now have to have something that they're going to want to watch and follow you for. So what's going to be in that video that you're spending $1 a day on matters, right? It can't just be, hey, it's Evan, follow me. I'm going to post stuff, right? I mean, or like, go buy my book. It's great. You have to create content that people actually are going to want to interact with and leverage and use. So are you doing that? So I think an easy first starting point in Built to Serve, I go through the 10-pack of content, the first 10 posts that you should put on any social media network. And first one starts with your story. Like, why do you do what you do? Why is this important to you? And leading with that so that people will want to follow you. Like if he made his first post to talk about, hi, I'm Marion, I'm a client acquisition specialist. I came here from Romania and I ended up, doing a whole bunch of jobs I didn't want to. And I came because I wanted to build a better life for myself and my family. And now I'm doing it. And now I've sold my first funnel and had $1 million in it. And now I want to help other experts do the same thing too, because you're great at what you do. You need to bulletproof your business. And I want to be the guy to help you do it. Right? That's something that people may watch and then say, oh, okay, that's an interesting message. I like that. I'm an immigrant too, or I've got ideas too, or I want to learn about funnels too. And then they would be way more interested in following him than something else. So telling your story, making that the lead, I think is really important. You need to give people a reason. It's never been easier to get in front of people, but you need to give them a reason to then want to stay in touch and follow you.
Fact. Shrebi, happy
Facts.
birthday.
Whose birthday is it? Is it your birthday?
No, Shrebi says it's my birthday today, so wish
cool.
you a happy birthday.
When is your birthday, Marion?
November 27th.
Oh, okay. You still got time. I'm May, so.
Oh, you're May?
Yeah, May 20. May
Just
20.
around the corner, huh?
It's coming. It's coming. Do we have plans, Nina, for my birthday? Oh, she's not here. She can't hear. Nina's also playing a game of League, but she's got headphones on, so she can't hear what I'm saying.
Summer Days ask, is it a good time to start a side hustle? So is it a good time? It's always, you know, if you would think, hey, when is a good time? You're never gonna start it. It's never a good time. It's always a good time, both combined, right? It doesn't matter that whatever is going on now, like, you know, don't look at the negative ever. Always look at, like, if you want to start a side hustle right now, look at what is what is your expertise and what is the value that you can bring to the market. But be careful. Don't just think, hey, what can I do to, like, a side hustle to make some more money now? Because if that's not evergreen, and if you're just trying to, you know, cash in or a couple things that are, right, like if you want to, I don't know, maybe sell hand sanitizers or like something like that. I'm not saying that that's not evergreen, but it's not as, you know, or maybe in the future it'll become kind of.
Every winter, Marion did say, every winter is going to happen to us.
Yeah, so you never know in terms of that, if it becomes evergreen or not. But in terms of, is it a good time to start a side hustle? It's never a good time, but it's always a good time. So focus on, you know, what's your skill, what the market wants, who's already doing it, and then try to improve your own way of doing it that way, right? Like if you have some money to invest, cool. If you don't, you have to just kind of hustle a little more, right? Like what kind of side hustle? Like what's your expertise? What are your skills? Do you have the skills to monetize it right away? No, cool. Focus on getting the skills as fast as possible so you can start doing that, right? Like think smart, and also look at you and what are the things that you can actually monetize? What are your skills, not the things? What are the skills that you can actually monetize, and focus on that for your side hustle? It's, in my opinion. But straight to the question, it's never a good time, but it's always a good time.
I love teaching myself that my ideas are great, and because I thought of it, then I have to do it. So if you're thinking about it, worry less about the timing, because you're never going to time anything, right? Worry less about the timing and focus instead more on what you're actually going to do. You came with this idea. You're a genius. Your idea is great. Do something. So it's never the perfect time to get married. It's never the perfect time to have a kid. It's never the perfect time to start a business. It's never the perfect time for any of this stuff. Awesome. You want to do it? Do it. Because otherwise you're going to be 95 years old and look back and say, I wish I did it.
Travel blogger asks, are stocks going to come back down? So I'm not super.
Come back down. I mean, can
That's
continue
the
to
question,
fall?
actually, yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, actually they went a little bit up. Like whatever. Like think about this. I guess if we look long term, the whole economic situation and stuff, it'll kind of stabilize, but it'll take a while, in my opinion. I'm not a big guy into stocks, so I don't like to give predictions on things that I don't really have much expertise on. But eventually, it'll come back to normal. It's just it'll probably going to take a while now.
Yeah, I think to do this well, you have to be living in it, right? So you just like, when is the right, if you're trying to time it, you better be really in the business to really know what you're doing, as opposed to just trying to be opportunistic. I used to love stocks. I used to be all in on stocks. It was like all I paid attention to every day, checking to see where, you know, my stocks are ranking. I leaned way off of that. I get more satisfaction, love, income from doing the business that I'm doing instead. So that's where I spend my time. So you either dedicate yourself to learning it and you follow all the people that are talking about it and you form your own opinion of it, or you invest for the long haul. So my money personally is invested into, I have half my money in index funds and half my money in Facebook and Amazon as individual stocks. And that's it. I'm probably going to do some more buying next week, to be honest. But if you're going to do this well, try not to do it. Just the same thing as the business opportunity. Try not to do it just because you think, ooh, I'm trying to time the market and try to catch it at the bottom. I wouldn't focus on that. Instead, I'd focus on either just focusing on yourself, building a business that you're proud of and you love, or if this is what you want to get great at, then master your craft and be freaking great at it.
Cafe Cola says, saw that pie Nina made.
Saw the pie, Nina. Nina's getting lots of love for the pie. It was pretty good. She made it was cauliflower instead of potatoes, but super delicious. I'm going to have some more probably after this. It was really good.
Oh, damn. Now you make me hungry. I got to drink some more water.
Yeah, it's really good, too. It's amazing.
Thanks for creating. For sure takes time. Just follow you, Marian. Thank you. Thank you for the love. What top self-development podcast books would you suggest I take in to level up during this quarantine time? Podcast. So we'll start with podcasts. Number one, well, the one that I love, it's more business, but it's also self-development, is Business Lunch with Roland Frazier. I just love that show. Roland Frazier is a super smart guy. He sold and built and exited and spotted in like, I don't know how many hundreds of businesses. So Business Lunch with Roland Frazier, I would say everybody that's watching this and more can learn a lot from that podcast. So I super recommend it. Books that you can read right now, Built to Serve.
Right? There we go.
And of course, I'll probably, because we got this question a lot last week too, and I'm trying to just keep it simple so it's not super. I guess because when you mention too many things, people will forget about them. But I guess I'll just mention one podcast and then one book. So, Business Lunch by Roland Frazier, and Built to Serve by Evan Carmichael as a book. And of course,
nice.
if you want to learn how to get more customers, you can also listen to my own podcast. Shameless plug in there.
I didn't know you had a podcast.
Yeah, high-end client acquisition.
That's a podcast? What do you do?
Yeah, I pretty much interview people. Like you were on the podcast too.
Oh, okay. I thought more. Well, okay, that's fine. So I was thinking YouTube channel. So that's also a podcast.
Yeah, it's also the audio side. Yeah, so it has a different intro and outro, but essentially, the interviews live on both platforms, but intros and outros are separately just for the audio format.
Got it. Okay. So
What's your favorite?
I have a podcast with Mark Jager. I don't
Oh, wow.
listen to any single podcast. I mean, I'm a visual guy, so listening to podcasts is the worst for me. I don't learn from audio. It causes a lot of focus issues for me to really start to figure out what they're saying and pay attention to it. So that I got nothing. I mean, you can listen to one I did with Mark, but we also do a video version of it. I would just much rather watch the video than listen to it. And for books, I mean, I'll say this, and it's going to be, you can watch the replay on Instagram, or you can go back and you can watch it on YouTube when it comes out. Because we had a couple of good conversations earlier about the right books and what we recommend that I would lean in on.
Hashtag believe, Jokino.
Did we talk about how thought leadership content is down right now?
I heard you talking about it. I'm trying to remember. I think it was today, if I'm not wrong, right? I think you talked today about that. I don't know exactly with who, or yesterday. I heard you talk about this. So it's weird, in my opinion, right?
So I was actually, I think it was with Grant. I was talking about with Grant Cardone on his live stream. I sent you the link.
Oh,
to it.
yes. Yeah.
So YouTube is up. And why I bring this up is because I love the mindset that this person has of, hey, I'm at home. I want to learn. What should I learn? Right? What do you recommend that I learn from books and podcasts? So the investment in yourself, I think, is super critical. But YouTube overall is up. They're throttling the videos. They're throttling how much space, bandwidth people have. So you don't automatically get a lot, depending on your area, you won't get videos automatically in full HD because they're taking up too much bandwidth because too many people are on the internet, on YouTube, you know, reviewing stuff. So YouTube is up dramatically, but thought leadership content is down. Almost everybody in thought leadership, people making videos where you can learn stuff, almost everybody is down right now. And so that blew my mind. Like, how are all these people down when everybody's just at home watching videos? It's because if you look at what's up, it's entertainment and it's news. So go to your own YouTube homepage and you're going to see, when I go, I see I was going to say Justin Bieber. It's Justin Trudeau. My Prime Minister, Justin Bieber. It's amazing. Well, he is Canadian. He could do it.
Yeah,
Justin
I was
Bieber.
about to say, they're both Canadians.
2040, Justin Bieber for Prime Minister. Let's go. That's amazing. So there's a lot of that's popping up for sure. And so, or entertainment, or music videos, and that kind of stuff, or just silly stuff, pranks, and all that stuff is ranking and doing well. So I love that, you know, you guys are here watching. I love that this person asked the question. I think it's amazing. I think this is a fantastic opportunity right now to actually take advantage and actually go off and make something amazing for your life, for your business that most people are going to squander, and you have a chance to actually turn it into something fantastic.
Random question. Do either of you collect anything, random or not? I don't. Now that I was looking around and seeing, I don't. I know you said you used to collect baseball cards, right?
Yeah, we lost, Marion. We lost. It's very sad. We lost.
Oh, damn. That's because of your...
It's 1-on-1. That's because of what?
That's because of the player that you're not allowed to use, right?
I was allowed to use them this time, but yeah, we still lost. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, all right, we're 1-on-1. We're 1-on-1 overall. Overall, we are 3-5. 3-5 with Marion. 1-on-1 on the day. So this next game is the one that kind of switches it. We'll see.
Yeah,
collect.
This will be a good.
I hope so. I hope so. So quickly, we'll finish this off. What do I collect? People. I collect people now. I collect good people. That's what I collect. That's a good answer. I like that answer. Things I used to collect baseball cards. I don't have that anymore. I mean, I have some that mean something to me, but there's nothing that I need to have, but I need to have more good people around me. Yep. So I'm always on the hunt.
That makes a lot of sense.
Great question to end it off. Guys, we're going to come back in 5 seconds for the third and final IG Live. Stay tuned. Let's go. Bring your questions.